The markhor, Afghanistan's majestic national symbol. High in the rugged mountains of Central and South Asia, where rocky cliffs meet azure skies and ancient trade routes wind through treacherous passes, lives one of nature's most remarkable creatures, the markhor capra falconeri. With its magnificent spiral horns and sure-footed grace, stands as a testament to survival against overwhelming odds. This extraordinary wild goat has earned the distinguished honor of being Afghanistan's national animal, embodying the resilience, strength, and untamed spirit of the Afghan people themselves. Physical characteristics, nature's masterpiece. The markhor is arguably one of the most visually striking members of the wild goat family. Adult males, known as billies, can reach impressive dimensions, standing 65 to 115 centimeters at the shoulder and weighing between 80 to 110 kilograms. Females, called nannies, are considerably smaller, typically weighing 32 to 50 kilograms and standing 65 to 75 centimeters tall. However, it is not their size alone that makes them remarkable, but rather their extraordinary physical adaptations that have allowed them to thrive in some of the world's most challenging terrain. The most iconic feature of the markhor is undoubtedly its spectacular horns. In males, these twisted spirals can grow up to 160 centimeters in length, creating a corkscrew pattern that appears almost too perfect to be natural. The horns grow continuously throughout their lives, with each twist representing roughly 1 year of age. Females also possess horns, though they are considerably smaller, typically reaching only 25 centimeters in length and displaying a less dramatic spiral pattern. The markhor's coat varies dramatically with the seasons, serving as both camouflage and protection against extreme weather conditions. During winter months, they develop a thick, woolly undercoat beneath longer guard hairs, creating insulation against temperatures that can plummet well below freezing. The winter coat ranges from light tan to deep reddish brown, often with darker markings along the legs and face. As spring arrives, this heavy winter coat is shed, revealing a shorter, lighter summer coat that ranges from golden tan to grayish brown. Male markhor are particularly distinguished by their impressive beards, which can grow quite long and add to their regal appearance. During the rutting season, mature males develop an even more pronounced beard and emit a strong, musky odor that can be detected from considerable distances. Their legs are sturdy and well-muscled, ending in split hooves that provide exceptional grip on rocky surfaces, allowing them to navigate near vertical cliff faces with remarkable ease. Habitat and distribution. Masters of the mountains. The markhor's natural range extends across the mountainous regions of Central and South Asia, including Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. These magnificent animals have adapted to life in some of the world's most challenging environments, thriving at elevations ranging from 600 to 3,600 meters above sea level. In Afghanistan, markhor primarily inhabit the Hindu Kush mountain range, particularly in the northeastern provinces. They favor steep, rocky terrain interspersed with sparse woodland and scrubland. The landscapes they call home are characterized by dramatic elevation changes, with deep valleys giving way to towering peaks, creating a mosaic of microclimates and ecological niches. Their preferred habitat consists of open woodland dominated by oak, pine, and juniper trees, interspersed with rocky outcroppings and steep cliff faces. During different seasons, markhor exhibit altitudinal migration patterns, moving to higher elevations during summer months to escape heat and find fresh vegetation, then descending to lower elevations during winter to avoid heavy snowfall and find accessible food sources. The terrain that markhor inhabit would challenge even the most experienced mountaineers, yet these animals navigate it with apparent ease. Rocky ledges that appear impossibly narrow serve as highways for these sure-footed climbers. Their ability to leap between rocky outcroppings and maintain their footing on seemingly impossible slopes has earned them legendary status among local populations. Water sources play a crucial role in determining markhor distribution patterns. While they can survive in relatively arid conditions, access to reliable water sources during dry seasons is essential. They often travel considerable distances to reach springs, streams, or other water sources, sometimes following the same routes used by their ancestors for generations. Behavior and social structure. Life in the high country. Markhor society is complex and varies significantly throughout the year, particularly in response to seasonal changes and reproductive cycles. For most of the year, males and females lead largely separate lives, coming together primarily during the autumn rutting season. Female markhor typically form small herds consisting of related individuals and their offspring. These maternal groups usually number between 8 to 12 animals, though larger aggregations may form in areas with abundant food resources. The social hierarchy within female groups is generally stable, with older, more experienced females often leading the group to feeding areas and water sources. These matriarchal leaders possess intimate knowledge of their territory, including the locations of the best grazing areas, water sources, and escape routes from predators. Adult males, particularly older individuals, tend to be more solitary outside of the breeding season. Younger males may form bachelor groups, which serve important social functions, allowing them to establish dominance hierarchies and practice fighting techniques they will need during future breeding seasons. These bachelor groups typically consist of 3 to 5 individuals and are less stable than female herds. The daily routine of markhor is largely dictated by environmental conditions and predator avoidance. They are most active during the cooler hours of dawn and dusk, a behavior pattern known as crepuscular activity. During the heat of midday, particularly in summer, they seek shade among rocks or trees, often resting on cool stone ledges or in cave entrances. Markhor are remarkably agile climbers, capable of ascending nearly vertical rock faces and leaping across gaps that would seem impossible for animals of their size. Their climbing ability serves multiple purposes, accessing food sources unavailable to other animals, escaping from predators, and reaching secure resting sites. Young markhor begin developing these climbing skills at an early age, often engaging in playful activities that help strengthen their muscles and improve their balance. Communication among markhor involves a variety of vocalizations, body postures, and scent marking behaviors. Adults produce a range of sounds including grunts, bleats, and alarm calls that can alert other herd members to danger. During the rutting season, males produce deep, resonant calls that can carry across mountain valleys, advertising their presence to both potential mates and rival males. Diet and feeding behavior, adapted to scarcity. As herbivores living in harsh mountain environments, markhor have evolved remarkable adaptations to extract maximum nutrition from limited and often poor quality food sources. Their diet varies considerably with seasons and elevation, demonstrating remarkable flexibility in their feeding behavior. During spring and summer months, when vegetation is most abundant, markhor feed primarily on grasses, herbs, and the leaves of shrubs and trees. They show particular preference for young, tender shoots and leaves, which provide higher nutritional content than mature plant material. Oak leaves, when available, form a significant portion of their diet, along with various species of wild herbs and grasses that grow in mountain meadows. As autumn approaches and food becomes scarcer, markhor become more opportunistic in their feeding habits. They will consume twigs, bark, and even dried vegetation when fresh plant material is unavailable. Their digestive system, like that of other ruminants, allows them to extract nutrients efficiently from fibrous plant material through a complex process of fermentation in their multi-chambered stomach. Winter presents the greatest feeding challenges, as snow cover limits access to ground vegetation and many plants enter dormancy. During these harsh months, markhor rely heavily on browsing behavior, feeding on the twigs and bark of trees and shrubs. They show remarkable ability to locate food sources beneath snow cover, using their hooves to dig through snow to reach buried vegetation. The feeding behavior of markhor also serves important ecological functions. As they move through their mountain habitat, they help disperse seeds through their droppings, contributing to plant community diversity and forest regeneration. Their browsing activities can influence the structure and composition of plant communities, creating a complex web of ecological relationships. Water requirements vary seasonally, with markhor needing to drink regularly during hot, dry periods but obtaining much of their water from vegetation during cooler months when plants have higher moisture content. Their ability to locate and remember the positions of water sources across their large territories is crucial for survival in their arid mountain environment. Reproduction and life cycle, ensuring the future. The reproductive cycle of markhor is precisely timed to environmental conditions, ensuring that young are born when food resources are most abundant and weather conditions are most favorable for survival. The breeding season, or rut, typically occurs from October to December, with peak activity in November. During the rutting season, the behavior of male markhor undergoes dramatic changes. Solitary for most of the year, mature males actively seek out female herds and compete intensively for mating rights. The competition between males is fierce and spectacular, involving elaborate displays of strength and dominance. Males rear up on their hind legs and clash their massive horns together in thunderous encounters that can be heard across mountain valleys. These battles can last for hours and occasionally result in serious injuries or even death. Dominant males, typically those with the largest horns and most impressive physical condition, win the right to mate with receptive females. However, the energy expenditure required for these intensive mating competitions takes a significant toll on males, and many enter the winter months in weakened condition. After a gestation period of approximately 155 days, females give birth to 1 to 3 kids, though twins are most common. Birth timing is crucial, typically occurring in late April to early June, when spring vegetation provides nursing mothers with the nutrition needed to produce milk, and when weather conditions are most favorable for newborn survival. Newborn markhor kids are remarkably precocious, able to stand and walk within hours of birth. This rapid development is essential for survival in their dangerous mountain environment, where mobility can mean the difference between life and death. Mothers select birthing sites carefully, typically choosing secluded locations among rocks or dense vegetation that provide protection from predators and harsh weather. For the first few weeks of life, kids remain hidden while their mothers forage, returning several times daily to nurse. As they grow stronger, young markhor begin accompanying their mothers on increasingly adventurous foraging expeditions, learning essential survival skills, including climbing techniques, predator recognition, and food identification. Weaning typically occurs at 5 to 6 months of age, though kids may continue to associate with their mothers through their first winter. Sexual maturity is reached at 18 to 30 months for females and 2 to 3 years for males, though males typically do not successfully compete for mating opportunities until they are much older and have developed the size and horn growth necessary to challenge established breeding males. Conservation status: a species under siege. The markhor's conservation story is one of both alarming decline and hope for recovery, representing one of the most successful conservation efforts in Central Asia. Historically, markhor populations were abundant throughout their mountain ranges, but the 20th century brought unprecedented challenges that pushed this magnificent species to the brink of extinction. By the 1970s, intensive hunting pressure, habitat loss, and competition with domestic livestock had reduced global markhor populations to critically low levels. The total world population was estimated at fewer than 2,000 individuals, with some subspecies reduced to just a few dozen animals. The species was classified as endangered on the IUCN Red List, and many experts fear that the markhor would follow other mountain ungulates into extinction. Several factors contributed to this dramatic population decline. Unregulated hunting for meat, trophies, and traditional medicine had a devastating impact, particularly on mature males with their impressive horn growth. The breakdown of traditional hunting restrictions and the availability of modern firearms made hunting pressure far more intensive than ecosystems could sustain. Habitat loss and degradation represented another major threat. Expanding human settlements, road construction, and agricultural development fragmented markhor habitat and reduced the quality of remaining areas. Overgrazing by domestic goats and sheep created competition for food resources and degraded plant communities that markhor depended upon. Political instability in the region, particularly in Afghanistan, made conservation efforts extremely difficult to implement and maintain. War, civil conflicts, and the breakdown of government institutions eliminated effective wildlife protection and allowed poaching to continue unchecked. However, the story of markhor conservation also demonstrates what could be achieved through dedicated conservation efforts and international cooperation. Beginning in the 1980s, a combination of strict legal protection, community-based conservation programs, and sustainable hunting initiatives began to show positive results. In Pakistan, the establishment of community conservancies has been particularly successful. Local communities are given economic incentives to protect markhor populations through carefully managed trophy hunting programs that generate significant revenue, while removing only a small number of animals. These programs have created powerful local incentives for conservation while providing funding for protection efforts. Afghanistan has also made significant strides in markhor conservation, despite ongoing political challenges. The establishment of protected areas and anti-poaching efforts has helped stabilize populations in key areas. International conservation organizations have worked with local communities to develop alternative livelihoods that reduce pressure on wildlife resources. Today, global markhor populations have recovered to approximately 5,000 to 6,000 individuals, representing a remarkable conservation success story. The species has been downgraded from endangered to near threatened on the IUCN Red List, though significant challenges remain. Cultural significance, symbol of national identity. The selection of the markhor as Afghanistan's national animal reflects deep cultural and symbolic connections that extend far beyond mere administrative designation. In Afghan culture, the markhor embodies qualities that are deeply valued: resilience in the face of adversity, the ability to thrive in harsh environments, and an untamed spirit that refuses to be broken by external pressures. The twisted horns of the markhor have inspired various interpretations in local folklore and tradition. Some legends describe the horns as spiraling skyward, connecting earth to heaven, and representing the spiritual aspirations of the Afghan people. The animal's ability to navigate treacherous mountain terrain serves as a metaphor for the Afghan people's ability to survive and prosper despite centuries of challenges and conflicts. In traditional Afghan poetry and literature, the markhor appears as a symbol of freedom and independence. Its preference for high, inaccessible places represents a desire for liberty that has characterized Afghan culture throughout history. The animal's wariness of humans and ability to escape into rocky strongholds parallels Afghanistan's historical resistance to foreign domination. The markhor also appears on Afghanistan's national emblem, where its image is incorporated into official government symbols and documents. This prominent placement reflects the animal's importance as a representation of national identity and natural heritage. The use of the markhor in official context helps raise awareness about Afghanistan's unique biodiversity and the importance of wildlife conservation. Local hunting traditions have long recognized the markhor as a premium quarry, not merely for its meat, but for the prestige associated with successfully hunting such a challenging and intelligent animal. Traditional hunting codes developed over centuries included restrictions on when and how markhor could be hunted, reflecting an understanding of the need for sustainable use of this valuable resource. Ecological role: engineer of mountain ecosystems. Within their mountain ecosystems, markhor play crucial ecological roles that extend far beyond their immediate presence. As large herbivores, they serve as important ecosystem engineers, influencing plant community structure and composition through their feeding behaviors and movement patterns. The browsing activity of markhor helps maintain the diversity and structure of mountain plant communities. By selectively feeding on certain plant species while avoiding others, they create a complex mosaic of vegetation types that supports a wide variety of other wildlife species. Their preference for young, tender growth helps prevent certain plant species from becoming dominant, maintaining the open woodland structure that characterizes their habitat. As prey species, markhor support populations of large carnivores, including snow leopards, wolves, and lynx. The presence of healthy markhor populations helps maintain these predator populations, which in turn play important roles in ecosystem regulation. The predator-prey relationships involving markhor represent some of the last intact large mammal communities in Central Asian mountains. The movement patterns of markhor also contribute to ecological connectivity across mountain landscapes. Their seasonal migrations between different elevations help transport nutrients and energy between different ecosystem zones, connecting high alpine areas with lower elevation forests and grasslands. During winter months, when markhor concentrate in lower elevations, their trampling and browsing activities can create openings in dense vegetation that benefit other wildlife species. These clearings provide habitat for smaller mammals, birds, and insects that require more open conditions. The dung of markhor serves as an important fertilizer source in nutrient-poor mountain soils, helping support plant growth in areas where organic matter is scarce. Their droppings also provide food resources for various invertebrate species, which in turn support populations of birds and small mammals. Future challenges and conservation outlook. Despite remarkable recovery efforts, the future of markhor populations faces continuing challenges that require sustained conservation attention and international cooperation. Climate change represents an emerging threat that could significantly alter the mountain environments that markhor depend upon. Rising temperatures are causing changes in precipitation patterns and vegetation zones in mountain regions. As plant communities shift to higher elevations in response to warming temperatures, markhor habitat may become increasingly fragmented and reduced in area. Changes in snow patterns could affect water availability and alter the timing of plant growth cycles that markhor depend upon for nutrition. Political instability continues to pose challenges for conservation efforts, particularly in Afghanistan, where ongoing conflicts make field research and protection activities difficult and dangerous. The need for sustained funding and international cooperation becomes more critical as local government capacity for wildlife management remains limited. Expanding human populations in mountain regions create ongoing pressure for habitat conversion and increased hunting pressure. The development of mining operations, road construction, and other infrastructure projects continues to fragment markhor habitat and create new disturbance sources. However, the success achieved in markhor conservation provides reason for optimism about the future. The development of effective community-based conservation models demonstrates that local communities can become powerful allies in wildlife protection when they receive appropriate incentives and support. Continued international cooperation and support for conservation efforts will be essential for maintaining and expanding current recovery trends. The integration of markhor conservation with broader landscape conservation approaches offers opportunities to protect entire ecosystems while benefiting multiple species. The story of the markhor stands as both a symbol of Afghanistan's natural heritage and a testament to what can be achieved through dedicated conservation efforts. As this magnificent animal continues to thrive in the mountains it has called home for millennia, it serves as an inspiration for conservation efforts worldwide and a powerful reminder of the importance of protecting our planet's biodiversity for future generations. Through continued protection and wise management, the markhor will hopefully continue to grace Afghanistan's mountains for centuries to come, serving as an enduring symbol of the country's resilience, natural beauty, and commitment to preserving its irreplaceable wildlife heritage. The spiral horns that reach toward the sky remind us that some things in this world remain wild and free, standing as monuments to the enduring power of nature and the possibility of conservation success even in the most challenging circumstances.